Hello, hello. Nag-start na ba yung stream ko? Okay. Mukhang nag-start na yung stream. Okay. So, welcome sa stream. Kung sino man yung makakanood. Ah, open lang natin yung stream ko. Yan. So, yung mega stream ko tonight, hindi ako maglalaro for now. Kasi wala naman ako kasama. Pati, wala naman ako i-grind. Pero, itatry ko munang mag-react sa mga videos, ganun. Itong type na streaming kapag gabi. Kasi ayoko masyadong mag-ingay, pati ayoko naman ng masyadong, alam mo yun, parang tulog na lang ako, such. Ganun. Tulog na yung girlfriend ko, nasa likod ko, hindi siya kita sa stream. So, ayun. Mag-react muna ako sa mga videos, ganun. Since na very avid, di man avid fan, pero fan talaga ako ni Asmon Gold. Yung mga takes niya, although lahat hindi ako nag-agree, pero pag may take siya sa isang bagay, very logical yung path na ginagamit niya, which is, yun, I agree on totally, 100%. Labas lahat ng politics, lahat ng personal interests, and ganyan. Logical standpoint of view, yung nakikita niya madalas, or yung ginagawa niya madalas. Minsan may emotion na involved, pero gusto ko ganun type na reactions din yung gagawin ko. And tatry natin kunin rin yung mga videos na nare-reactan niya. Kunin natin yung above 500,000 views na meron siya, ha? Para at least within paano ba? Nasa ganong range, mga trending yung titignan natin. So naka-ready na yung playlist niya actually nandito na. So ito yung nireactan niya nung nakaraan. Yan. Wait lang. May ads tayo eh. Wait lang. Yan. Ito. So, kapag nandito tayo, ito yung open natin. Yung mga nare-reactan niya mismo, yung main video. Hindi natin papanoorin yung mismong video ni Asmon Gold. Okay, so ito yung nare-reactan niya. So, dito tayo mag-react, guys. So, i-record ko lang tong part na to. Pause na rin natin yung music.
Khaby Lami's comment section has gotten pretty brutal. Fall off is crazy, your time is over, bro. Put the fries in the bag, all of which have a...
Kilala niyo to siya, di ba? I mean, sikat na sikat to. Sumikat yata siya sa... Nakita ko yata siya, pandemic na eh. Something. Yung nagko-correct na yung mga content na mga obvious kung paano gawin yung mga bagay. So, kino-correct niya. Tulad ng yung naglagari ng cup kasi parang stuck daw yung ballpen sa cup, so hawak nila, nila, parang pinutol pa nila yung handle ng cup and such. Mga ganun stupid content. Tapos kino-correct niya or pinapakita niya paano gawin easily. Ganun.
Appeared in just the last few months. Why has this pretty likable TikToker suddenly had his entire audience turn on him? Well, judging by another comment reading, why did we make him the most followed person on TikTok? People are starting to think that he doesn't really deserve it. He gained 162 million followers by
My gosh. Wait lang. Sino yung mga nasa list?
repeating he doesn't really deserve it.
Number 4 si Bella Porch. Number 3, ito okay. Alam ko si Charlie D'Amelio, mataas siya. Pero si Mr. Beast pangatlo. Tapos si Bella Porch pang-4. Amo, nasa taas si Bella Porch eh. Apparently, yan yung sequence nila. Number 1 pala siya. Diba? Kano kaya yung makuha niya sa ano? Obviously, mayaman na siya.
He gained 162 million followers by repeating a pretty simple formula. Find ridiculous videos of people exerting too much effort on the most basic tasks, then show how to do it in a much easier.
I mean, creative rin naman to. I mean, yung naghahanap ka ng mga ways para makuha na reaction sa tao. Pero, ginagamit niya lang rin.
Way.
entertains you, why not naman para sa akin.
Can't believe he got that big just from reacting to humans being dumb. Even Khaby himself stated, "My videos are simple and easy, but achieving a point of simplicity was actually very difficult." He gained just 9 views and only 2 followers during his first month on TikTok, which only grew to 4,300 after posting a crazy amount of volume.
I was posting like 6 or 7 videos a day.
His main type of content, widely relatable skits, but they were limited by a language barrier as Khaby only spoke Italian. I don't understand what he's saying.
Spoke Italian, pero nag-i-English siya dito.
His main crazy amount of volume.
I was posting like 6 or 7 videos a day.
His main
Hindi naman ganun ka pangit yung English. I mean, I think enough naman yung English na yun para maging noticeable
type of content, widely relatable skits, but they were limited by a language barrier as Khaby only spoke Italian. I don't understand what he's saying. Someone translate it, please. I love your videos, but can you please do them in English? Khaby therefore devised a simple solution. Only make videos where he didn't need to talk. He'd state the fact that it's not spoken makes it a universal language. Every kid, every person around the world can see the video and get along.
Malaking example nito. Si Mr. Bean. Si Mr. Bean, hindi nagsasalita si Mr. Bean. Pero, well, technically nagsasalita siya. Pero, hindi siya like very outspoken character, diba? Cartoons or even yung live action. Pero lahat relatable kasi lahat nakikita mo eh. So, medyo kumuha siya ng page dun sa libro na yun. Si Mr. Bean kinuha yun kay Charlie Chaplin ba? Pero yun, silent videos or silent movies, naging popular sila for a reason. And that's for relatability. Kasi hindi mo kailangan makipag-usap para makita yung content ka.
Laugh simply by watching the images. Unfortunately, Khaby was now basically limited to mocking cringy videos, although this worked unbelievably well as he began to celebrate milestone after milestone. 300,000, 400,000, 600,000, whilst his ability to silently clown on others only got better and better. He'd begin taking already viral videos and add an unexpected stitch to make them even funnier, leading to his first properly viral video roasting a girl for her non-existent haircut. Khaby's respect from the audience was building higher and higher, leading to a further 60 million views after roasting another TikToker for his strange shaving video. This then doubled to 130 million when he joked about a factory worker eating his chocolates. However, it'd be this video here that changed his life forever.
Yan yung sinasabi ko. Iba pala yung ibig sabihin ko. Hindi, meron pa siya eh. Separate yung isa. Iba pa yun.
Mocking the stupid life hack gained him 250 million views, repeated in another 4 videos, which followed a similar premise.
Grabe.
Suddenly, every video was gaining at least 30 million views, whilst his moves were being copied by famous soccer players. Khaby was
30 million views per video. I mean, hindi na ako tumitingin sa monetization pero imagine mo yung dami ng tao na tumitingin sa isang video. Feeling ko nag-peak siya nung ano rin to pandemic time din. So, mas maraming tao yung stuck sa mga phones nila.
Called the wisest man to ever live.
Technically, hindi naman wisest man. Pero mautak siya doon. Kasi, again, sobrang short form content. Sobrang dali na daling gawin ng content niya. And kung masaya siya sa ginagawa niya and kumikita siya doon, diba? I mean, yun yung problema. I mean, hindi tayo nagdi-dictate ng kung ano yung gusto ng mundo, 'di ba? I mean, hindi tayo kung maging successful yung isang tao, good or bad means pa yan, wala kang magagawa. Ganun gumagana yung mundo.
as you say so much without saying anything.
Diba?
It
Yeah.
celebrated 1 million followers on the 22nd of February, which by the
Nice one.
23rd of May had grown to 50 million.
Damn shit,
Although with
grabe.
somebody calling this a big L for TikTok, there were people who weren't happy with Khaby Lami's fame. Judging by 46.2 million followers for what, and 8.8 million likes for what,
Mga naiinggit na. Ilan kaya followers ito ba? For what? For being creative. I mean, hindi siya creative. Creative pa yung mga nakaisip eh. Pero for creativity in the sense na naisip niya na pwede niyang gawing content yun, di ba? Gawin niyo rin. Pwede niyo naman gawin yun.
people thought there was
Para
too
niya
much
gumanon
reward
din
for
ka
too
naman.
little effort, which can often turn into a person becoming hated. Take for example the Haktua girl. She's not disliked because she's a
Ito rin. Grabe. Pero minaximize niya yung ano ha. Minaximize ng ito ni Hawk2 girl. Minaximize niya yung ano ha. Yung fame niya ha. Ginawa niya talagang ano. Trinay niya talaga i-monetize. Which is I think she can do it siguro slower and better siguro. Pero who am I to say naman? Hindi rin ako kayo magka-level. Pero diba? Parang lahat eh. Yung naisip ko baka mangyari sa kanya yung masobrahan siya, ma-overwhelm siya sa dami ng ginagawa niya. So, siguro pag inunti-unti mo yun, binild mo pa. Pero kasi, massive jump din yung nangyari sa kanya overnight.
rude or terrible person, she's disliked because her success hasn't been earned. Without seeing his history on the platform, viewers might perceive Khaby in a similar way, as a low-effort TikToker who makes $750,000 per
Grabe.
post
Totoo
for
ba yan?
holding out his hands in a 20-second video.
Akala ko kailangan 1-minute video bago ma-monetize yun.
The main joke is that Khaby gained over 100 million followers by doing
For doing
nothing.
nothing. Imagine mo yung mga ano, I mean, well, eto followers eh. Pero maraming taong kumikita ng walang ginagawa. Diba? Kasi gumagawa sa passive streams at ganyan. Passive streams of income. Pero, ayun. Feeling ko naiingit lang yung mga tao sa kanya.
On the unpopular opinion subreddit, one user wrote Khaby Lami is boring, not funny, predictable, low effort and famous just because he uses other people's content.
Pero ba't ang daming na-entertain? Ang daming nanonood? I mean, if boring siya, not funny, predictable, low effort, I mean, tanggalin natin tong effort and famous just because he uses other people for content. At feeling ko hindi matatapos to. He uses other people for content. Sa lahat ng bagay. I mean, even mga talk show host ginagawa to. Diba? So, paano naging problem yun? Pero feeling ko, is boring, not funny, and predictable. Kung ito lang yung reason para dapat hindi siya maging successful, bakit ang daming nanonood? Kasi kung boring, not funny, and predictable for the majority ng mga tao nanonood, bakit ang dami pa rin nanonood? Diba?
90% of his TikToks are low effort. He has a few quality vids, but that's it. He shouldn't deserve the recognition he's got right now. I really have nothing against the guy, just that there are some people who put real effort and can't get through, and I
Hindi kasalanan yun ng ano. Marami rin ako nakikita mga YouTuber na like, makita mo yung videos nila high quality. As in very high quality. Meron pa silang mga intros and such. Meron pa silang mga may system talaga, kompleto yung gear nila and ganyan. Pero hindi lang talaga sila nakakuha ng oomph, diba? Hindi pa dumarating yung it moment nila. Ganun. So, feeling ko, hindi mo pwedeng sisihin kung nasa effort ba o hindi. Nakadepende talaga kung papatok ka o hindi. Ganun lang. May mga tao hindi nag-effort. Imagine mo yung mga yung mga, paano ba, yung mga babae na natural lang na maganda. Ganun. So, wala silang gagawin. May mga manonood talaga sa kanila. Compared mo sa sabihin natin sa Kurtz Gasot, diba? Yung gumagawa pa sila ng animated videos for it takes months, multiple months to build one video and hindi lahat interesado sa ganun kasi iba lang talaga yung interest ng mga tao. Parang ganun. Well, tulad ng mga tao ko, interesante ako sa mga ganung video ng Kurtz Gasot. Pero, tingnan mo yung pinagkaiba ng effort. Tulad nitong lalaking to, ganyan nga, wala siyang ginagawa, nag-reactan siya. Pero since na madali siyang panoorin, madaling maintindihan, walang ano. Yung ibang tao, mindless scrolling lang. We have to put in mind na yung mga taong nagla-like or yung mga taong nasa social media, pag nanood sila or ganyan, hindi siya malaking, nag-view ako ng video, hindi siya mabigat sa akin. Hindi ko rin alam, parang hindi ko masasabi na lahat nagustuhan yan. Pero, lahat ng nanood, kinakount kasi yun as one view. Diba? Yung natin, 55 million views, ganyan. Hindi lahat ng nanood, bukod sa, it gives you a chuckle. It gives you, yung iba natatawa talaga. Yung iba, chuckle lang. Yung iba, parang wala lang sa kanila. Dumaan lang, tapos, kilala ko ito. Ganun lang, scroll lang. Watch time na yun. Don't give it too much thought. Kasi dahil sa number, binobloat kasi ng number yung expectations ng mga tao. Pero, in reality, mas importante yung point of view mo itself. Diba? Again, video lang yun sa internet. Napakadaming video sa internet, di ba?
I don't think that's fair. Others didn't like him simply because they thought he wasn't funny.
It hurts me because these just aren't good and he has so many likes.
Honestly, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Anong pakialam mo? Ano magagawa mo? Ang dami. Oh my gosh. Kung alam mo kung gaano karaming sa mundo yung maraming likes din. Diba? So, ayan lang yung point eh. Hindi siya funny. Para sa iyo, pero para sa rami, diba? I mean, diba? Obviously, tulad ng sabi ko, it's just a number, binobloat niya. Pero ganun din. Ang dami pa rin nanonood, diba?
Who didn't find him that funny, but there's a much stranger reason that people began to hate him. Khaby posted a simple Instagram story, Say No to Racism, posted with a separate video in which he'd help a white person pull a sword out of the ground. It was captioned, "In a racist society, it's not enough to be non-racist. We must be anti-racist." But after this, Khaby made a brand new story. I'm seeing a lot of comments where people says, "I unfollowed you because you did this video." I don't mind, guys. We are almost in 2022 and people still use racism because they have nothing to do in their life. You can also unfollow me. I don't care about the numbers. I care about your hearts. This was followed by another post reading, "Instead of wasting your time writing negative comments criticizing, try to help people, although this controversy only ended after being overshadowed by a brand new scandal."
Okay.
Comments began to appear on his videos. "I hope this man beats Charlie. Khaby's more talented than Charlie. I have a feeling that he might pass Charlie. Charlie D'Amelio was TikTok's most followed person, although Khaby was right behind her with only 4 million less. Charlie losing her title therefore became a possibility, resulting in a war between the two creators. People began devising strategy."
Ito yung nangyari rin kay Charlie D'Amelio. Hindi ko lang po napapronounce ko yung pangalan ng tama. Ito rin yung naging issue sa kanya. I mean, compare ko lang kay Hawk to a Girl. Yung sobrang dami mo agad ginawa sa lahat ng options mo. Like, pinili mo lahat ng options mo. Hindi ka nag-focus sa isa. Ganun yung nangyari sa sa kanya. Sa mga videos na napanood ko. Obviously. Pero yung parang naging sobrang overwhelmed din yung family nila sa amount ng pinasok nila mga business ventures and such. Kasi, again, sikat siya for dancing and being pretty, ganyan. And pumasok sila sa mga negosyo that has nothing to do with dancing and being pretty. Ayun yung feeling kong problema kasi hindi man, your brand doesn't say everything about you, pero your brand is the reason why you're a brand, diba? So yun. Si Hawk to a Girl naman, ayun. Although si Hawk to a naman, embrace niya lahat, pero sobrang rami ng options niya rin na tinig na sana hindi siya mag-fall off dahil doon. Hindi siya ma-distract masyado na sobrang daming options ginawa niya. I digress. Balik tayo kay dito. Kay Khaby Lami.
Resulting in a war between the two creators. People began devising strategies to make Khaby the most followed.
If you want to help, start commenting Khaby to #1 on every video that you see on your FYP.
Charlie's fans fought back, writing, "There's no way people actually support Khaby Lami. He's literally racist and sexist. He body shames people. We all know damn well that if Charlie did one of these things, sexist. He
Wrong spelling yan, diba? Okay.
body shames people. We all know damn well that if Charlie did one of these things, her career..." be over. A different video added. So basically, Khaby did something so bad. He body shamed a girl, but what were these TikToks even talking about? Well, an account named Canceling Khaby Lami re-uploaded one of his videos with the caption, "Why is this man obsessed with body shaming girls?" It showed 3 examples of Khaby reacting to women poorly, which was paired with another video of him joking about a dude's obesity. People then discovered Khaby telling women to wash the dishes, resulting in mainstream news articles and some pretty heavy backlash.
Yun laang, nabutasan ka, dude. Lalo hindi ka, ito yung mahirap kapag ganon type ng content creator ka na hindi ka nagsasalita or wala kang platform para i-defend yung sarili mo. You just have to do what you keep on doing. Pero ito, hindi ko alam kung paano niya paano niya explain yung sarili. Well, technically, kahit mag-sorry ka, walang pakialam yung mga tao kasi may ebidensya na. Like, sorry doesn't pay for a crime. Pero yun, damn shit.
Body shaming is so disgusting, ew. That's so rude, I can't believe he'd do that. As a result, Khaby lost 400,000 followers before the day was over, although people then recognized what was going on. They're cancelling Khaby because he's gonna pass Charlie. Khaby therefore regained 1.5 million followers the very next day, ironically helping him become the most followed TikToker. Although Khaby Lami's reputation has been trending downwards ever since that day. Bro disappeared from my FYP after he became the most followed on TikTok. Ever since he passed Charlie, he's not been on my FYP, also being noticed by Noah Glenn Carter.
Because he's basically done nothing since becoming #1. Like, he never even made a video celebrating or acknowledging that he was now the #1 most followed TikToker.
Grabe,
And since becoming #1, he's posted once, maybe twice a week.
As mentioned, Khaby went from making 6 or 7 videos per day
Feeling ko kasi marami ng brand deals na nag-reach out sa kanya nung #1 siya, naging busy siya.
to basically
And yung TikTok kasi kailangan mo ng time para ma-monetize yung bawat video mo. Although malaki, kapag merong nag-offer sa'yo na bukas pumunta ka or ganun, feeling ko nag-focus siya sa mga brand deals. Kasi dude, may mga may mga commercial siya for boss or anything like that. Solid yun.
never posting. He instead began to state, "I want to make films. This is my main objective. I've wanted to make movies since I was a child," almost implying he was better than his TikTok audience. When he did post a video, it was often just an ad. Khaby did promotions for Airbnb, Hugo Boss, even Facebook, and by disrespecting his audience with loads of different ads, the audience would also lose respect for him. He used to be so famous. How did bro get forgotten? People started posting TikToks such as, "Maturing is realizing that..."
kilala mo yung nakilala ka for one thing and you shifted to another. Matetest yung paano ba? Yung loyalty ng fans mo.
Khaby
Well,
Lami
technically, interest ng fans mo kasi nag-iba yung content mo sa interest ng fans mo.
was never funny, and that whole race
So from very light na type ng content ng videos, naging paano tawag mo dito? Naging seryoso siya kasi gagawa siya ng mga movies, di ba? It might work, it might not, pero feeling ko kapag lumabas yung movie niya, kung sakali, feeling ko dami pa rin manonood eh. Sikat siya eh. I mean, mo-monetize siya pa rin yun somehow.
for him to Charlie was lame, as well as bro, can we all agree that Khaby Lami wasn't even funny? We just wanted him to pass Charlie D'Amelio in followers, which on its own gained almost 1 million likes. I mean, sometimes he was low-key funny, but it got old real quick, hinting at Khaby's next problem.
It got old real quick. Yun din.
As far back as 2021, people were already stating,
It's the same thing every single time. I know exactly what's gonna happen in each goddamn video.
honestly,
Bakit bad trip yung tao? Ninakawan ba siya ni Khaby? Hindi. Bad trip siya. Parang may personal vendetta siya against Khaby. Ewan ko. Baka naiingit lang. Pero like, what do you expect? Sige, baka nagarant lang sa... Okay.
Khaby's videos were funny at first, but the joke got old after a while. He was really funny at the start, but his joke is getting old. He never does anything else but these kind of videos. Well, now it's 3 years later, and the joke still hasn't changed. His lack of changing content becomes a lack of growth, for which the audience trashes him in comment after comment. But it's been especially bad recently. On the 14th of August, this person commented,
18th of August. 18th of August.
Khaby
Hindi 18th of August. 14th of August. Tama ba yung pagkakarinig ko?
especially bad recently. On the 14th of August, this
Tama. 14th of August. So that's 1 to 2
person
months
commented,
ago lang.
Khaby always knows how to keep it simple and hilarious, but only 2 weeks later, the same person's now stating, just put the fries in the bag, bro. In the past, Khaby Lami stated,
Of course, the people, they will always found something bad to you. I think
So tama lang na yung ginawa niya. Is nag-transition na siya. Good for him. Para sa akin, naniniwala ako good for him.
it's just part of the life.
and turning his back on TikTok has definitely had some benefits. He'd appear in the recent Bad Boys movie, is now a judge on Italy's Got Talent, and most notably, he's about to release his own feature film called Double O Khaby.
Manonood dyan. Maraming manonood dyan. Ano lang natin. Saan na yun? So, dito tayo. Feeling ko, kayo, para sa inyo, anong tingin nyo? Kasi ako feeling ko, marami parang manonood. And tama yung naging transition niya. He went to number 1 and hindi ko alam kung gaano siya tatagal sa number 1 at that time. Pero the way na nag-transition siya from number 1 to his own thing outside of TikTok is good kasi hindi na siya mag-rely sa platform. And at the same time, he's creating something. So, hindi ko siya feeling ko yung mga galit sa kanya, naiinggit lang. Kasi, pag hindi mo pinaghirapan yung isang bagay, di mo daw deserve, diba? Isang bagay. Pero, not all of us realize na hindi lang dahil hindi natin nakikita yung effort ng ibang tao, hindi sila nag-e-effort. So, ayun. And as you can see, ilang tao yung naging successful na nag-step out and yun nga, tried to actually do something, diba? And in-embrace niya rin yung pagsalubong ng mga gustong tumanggap sa kanya. How it goes for him in the future, hindi ko alam kung tatanggapin ba natin yung product niya. Definitely, baka hindi ako manonood kasi hindi mo like super fan niya. Pero what do you guys think? Kasi ako yun yung point of view ko sa bagay na to. So, ayun. So, stop ko yung recording dito pero tutuloy ko yung stream. Pero at least meron tayong isa. Ayan. Actually, nag-enjoy kasi na-enjoy ako panoorin yung mga reaction ni Aspen Gold. So, gusto ko makita kung kaya ko bang gawin kaso Filipino style or Tagalog style, diba? So, ayun. Tutuloy pa natin yung stream. I'm gonna check another video ngayon. I'll be streaming up to 1 a.m. siguro. So, naghahanap ako. Wait lang. Okay, dito. Hanap pa tayo. Ito. Ito, 800,000. Tingnan nga natin to, guys. Ito tayo. Tingnan natin to. Hindi ko papanoorin yung
CS Money
Aspen Gold. Diretso tayo dito sa isang video. Dito tayo mag-react, guys. Okay. Start ko na rin yung isang recording. So, merong isang video about sa Ubisoft na.
As you probably know, there's
Ubisoft.
been some major Ubisoft news occurring over
Okay, ano naman nangyari kay Ubisoft? Ang huling balita natin kay Ubisoft is yung hindi nila tinuloy. Dinuloy nila yung release ng Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay. After nun, wait lang ha, check ko lang kung nag-run yung OBS. Nag-record. Okay, nag-record siya. So, yun. Bukod sa dinelay nila yung release ng Assassin's Creed Shadows, hinold back din nila lahat ng event and tours nila after malaman yung mali nila dun sa design kuno. Sa design daw na pinapakita yung Hiroshima bombings. Na parang binabago or nire-rewrite daw nila yung history kasi binabago nila yung symbol from Hiroshima bombings, nagiging symbol siya behind Yosuke ba yun? Yung main character ng Assassin's Creed. So, ayun yung huling nangyari. So, naging malaking issue yun. They had to delay and hindi pa daw ready yung game somehow. Okay. Feeling ko nanonood din sila ng backlash na natatanggap nila.
over the last 24 hours or so, stuff that we also talked about in the second segment of the day yesterday, so if you saw that, you should be in the loop with everything. But just to recap super quick, AC Shadows has been delayed to February 2025. Ubisoft admits that Outlaws is underselling, and in a message released to investors, Ubisoft addresses a number of issues at the company and outlines some changes that they're going to try to help fix them. This following an internal probe also going on at Ubisoft to try and understand why the company has been failing so massively over the last.
Kung investor ka ba, this would matter to you or ipo-pull out mo lang yung investments mo sa dying company? Hindi man dying, pero a company that is going down and lahat ng new ventures nila pababa mula nung binili mo. Kasi kung investor ka and sabihin natin massive gamer geek ka and such, and may pera ka nung time na lumabas yung Assassin's Creed franchises, you would have made money already. So for example, nakita mo na yung Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, nakita mo very successful ka siya, bumili ka ng stocks and umangat na siya, Assassin's Creed franchise. Tapos nakita mo medyo nalulugi sila unti-unti. Pag nag-pull out ka dun, medyo may pera ka na eh. Pero ngayon, dire-diretso yung pagbagsak niya. Okay. Dire-diretso yung pagbagsak niya ngayon. Tingin nyo sulit ba? Tingin nyo sulit bilang investor or bilang na hindi nyo kukunin yung na i-pull out nyo na ba? Or hantayin nyo na yung mga sagot nila? Diba? Kasi ang tagal na eh. Ang tagal ng dire-diretsong ganyan. Parang nanay yan. Ayun.
Last number of years. And finally, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot. Did I get the name right that time? Well, he's made a statement saying that Ubisoft really doesn't have an agenda, and this particular statement has actually enraged a number of armchair activists and similar type of journalists. That's what we're going to be going over in this video, as it should be very entertaining, so I hope you're ready, and let's enjoy. We start with Paul Tassi, who's responding to Stefan Totilo, who said, from CEO, regarding polarized comments around Ubisoft, I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific...
Broadest possible audience. Pag gumagawa ka ng video game, narinig ko na to multiple times, wala kay Asmon Gold pati sa ibang review ng mga videos and such, na mga videos and video games and such, if ginawa mo masyadong general yung isang game, if you make a game for everybody, then it's not for anyone. Parang ganun. Parang pag masyado mo siyang ginagawang acceptable for all, mawawala yung core na supporters mo eh. For example, ako nagustuhan ko talaga yung Assassin's Creed. Pero tumigil ako after a while kasi nawala yung mga gusto ko sa game. Okay. Pinaka gusto ko pa rin talaga Assassin's Creed 1. Yung feeling, yung the way na nilaro mo siya, ganun. Pero Assassin's Creed 2, binago nila ng onte. Maganda pa rin siya. Actually, maraming tuwang-tuwa sa Assassin's Creed 2. Kasi ginawa na siyang story type or naging malaking part na is naging story-based na talaga siya. Ano gusto ko sa Assassin's Creed 1, kahit story-based pa rin siya, is kumukuha ka ng intel talaga kung paano mo i-assassinate yung kalaban, ganyan. And nag-e-effort ka talaga. Like, merong iba't ibang way para ma-assassinate yung kalaban. Pero pag hindi mo siya ginawa the way na tama, you can get away with it. Pero mas maganda kapag ginawa mo siya ng tama. Ganun. Assassin's Creed 1. Assassin's Creed 2, medyo nag-focus na sila sa sa story. Sa Assassin's Creed 3, yun yata yung pwede ka na mag-control ng ibang assassins and such, diba? Dire-develop nila, pinapaganda, medyo nawala na yung core. Sa akin nga, 1 to 2 pa lang, medyo hindi ko na-trip yung transition. No hate sa mga nagustuhan yung Assassin's Creed 2, pero Assassin's Creed 1 kasi talaga gustong-gusto ko. Napaka-simple ng game, diba? I'm telling you now, kung yung Assassin's Creed 1 concept, ginawa nila sa feudal Japan, I would definitely buy this game. Seryoso, walang palya. Bibiling ko, lalaroin ko. Pero the way na nakita ko na Assassin's Creed siya, tapos nun, magiging samurai ka. And lalo naglaro ako ng Ghost of Tsushima, na sobrang layo ng way of the samurai sa way ng mga ninjas, in that case. So, even sa Ronins nga magkaiba sila Pero lalo pag ninja, pag yun nga Ghost of Tsushima nga, sobrang layo sobrang disrespectful, sobrang taas ng respect ng mga samurai sa sarili nila, pati sa code nila, na hindi nga sila ma-associate sa assassin So, knowing that from Ghost of Tsushima, tapos nilabas nila to, tapos Assassin's Creed pa, parang sa akin, parang that nag-focus na sila sa ninja aspect, sa assassination aspect. Mga kalaban mo, mga samurai, pwede pa siguro yun pero hand in hand, it's a good concept to para like siguro makakuha ng more people interested. Pero ako bilang core supporter ng mga unang Assassin's Creed franchise, hindi ko na siya nakitang entertaining for me, lalo nung lumabas yung mga trailer. Pero sige, I mean, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Baka pag nilabas, maganda. Anyway, I digress. Ayun. I want to reaffirm that we are Ayan. Again, pag brinod mo masyado yung scope mo, mawawala yung core kung bakit kayo naging kilala. Diba? Tulad ng huling video pinanood natin, ayun nga, binago niya or lumayo siya sa scope niya, nabawasan yung fans niya. Diba?
Agenda, we remain committed to creating games that everyone can enjoy. That being the statement from Eves that I mentioned earlier, and Paul Tassi responds saying, "It is embarrassing Ubisoft is admitting that they're actually rattled by the culture war stuff over Outlaws and Shadows." He had more to say than that, but before we get to that, let me share my opinion on this. Just simplifying all of these issues into culture war stuff seems like a very odd take by Paul Tassi, because this situation involves people in Japan talking about their country being disrespected, as they're also lied to by a
literal na may na-offend kayong bansa or people ng mga tao ng bansa na yun. Doesn't get understand that. Ang backlash mo hindi nanggaling sa isang tao. Nanggaling sa bansa. Nanggaling sa mga tao ng bansa and meron silang unified thought doon. Imagine mo yun. Pwede kayong i-ban kung pwede lang kayo i-ban no?
massive corporation regarding their own history. But apparently to Paul Tassi, all of this is just culture war stuff. Now, if you're not familiar with Paul Tassi, he's often been criticized in gaming circles for numerous takes that he's made over the years that seem dismissive of the issues people have with things such as DEI. For example, back when Ubisoft issued their apology to the Japanese community, Paul Tassi had this to say: "When the hyper-forced pushback to your game is the not Japanese culture war talking point of you putting a DI samurai in your game, I would not engage with these people at all." So it also looks like he has a history of dismissing the issues that Japanese people have with AC Shadows. This is, of course, just one more example. I don't want to go through all this guy's tweets, just giving you a little bit more context. Okay. It's a truly bizarre thing how many armchair activist types and journalists, etc., are in complete denial about the failures of DEI. In my opinion, DEI is largely something that companies have tried to use for profit motives, attempts to appeal to ESG funds, and things like that. So whenever I see someone defending those sort of practices, to me, they just come off as massive corporate bootlickers. Now,
wait lang, i-check lang natin. Alam ko yung meaning ng DEI, pero hindi ko alam yung abbreviation. Okay. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay. Yan yung may idea ako habang pinag-uusapan natin. So, feeling ko, oo, factor yung DEI. Pero, again, hindi magiging problema yun kung pinasok mo siya in a way na it would adapt to the game properly. Diba? Feeling ko hindi hindi siya in the case ng DEI kasi pwede mo gawin yung DEI in any game. Sa mga RPG game, never mo kung makikita maglalaro ng babaeng character or ganyan. Kasi naniniwala ko pag RPG game, role-playing game, yung niro-roleplay mo, kinakarakterize ka. Diba? Ako bilang straight na lalaki, gusto ko, ang kinakarakterize ko sa game is straight na lalaki rin. Diba? Or kung straight, at least masculine yung type. Diba? Kasi, doon ako nag-identify. Diba? So, kung gusto ko man maging orc, maging elf, maging halfling, kahit ano, gusto ko lalaki yung character na yun. Okay? Ngayon, walang problema kung gawin mo yun sa video games. Walang problema kung gawin mo yun sa kahit saang aspect, di ba? Pero the moment na yun yung naging core ng game mo, which is hindi siya ganun ka-importante sa mga gamers eh. Ang mga gamers, ang tinitingnan gameplay, ang tinitingnan nila ganda ng character design, ang tinitingnan nila is story, ang tinitingnan nila is pleasing sa mata panoorin or laruin yung game, 'di ba? So feeling ko yung DI, oo, pag finorce mo siya ng mali, kapag puinersa mo siya, lahat naman pag puinersa ng mali pumapangit. Pero feeling ko yun yung nagiging take na to. Kasi masyadong na-hate yung mga tao, yung DI, yung mga ganyan, yung woke culture and such, di ba? Ako naiintindihan ko yung hate sa woke culture. Naiintindihan ko yung hate na yun. Pero ako, nagiging hate ko lang siya kasi pag puinersa or magpilit, di ba? Ang daming girl boss characters na naging girl boss tapos wala nagreklamo. Ang daming girl boss characters na hindi naman inobjectify or sinexualize, girl boss pa rin yung tingin ko sa kanila. Kaya mo siyang gawin ng hindi mo pinipilit naturally. Usually yung mga pinipilit to, it comes from a place ng mga tao na hindi talaga sila girl boss and gusto nila maging girl boss. Yung mga gumagawa or like that one, for example lang. Ganun yung tingin ko, ang point of view ko, and feeling ko malinaw yung point of view na yun. Feeling ko marami mag-agree doon.
As DEI has been failing and actually been costing these corporations more and more money in many cases.
Hindi nag-fail dahil sa DEI, nag-fail dahil sa pagpilit ng pagpasok ng DEI. Ang daming games na may baklang character, ang daming games na may black, or sabihin natin, ang daming games na may ganun, pero hindi sila pilit. Okay. Ganun lang kasimple. Isa sa mga favorite games ko is Walking Dead, Definitive Series, yung lahat ng yun. Yung characters na yun, zombie movie siya. Main character is lalaki nung 1. Naging babae nung 2 na bata. Nung 3, nagpalit ng character. Nung 4, yung babaeng bata ulit. Diba? Gustong gusto ko yung palabas. Sobrang kompleto ng diversity, inclusion, etc. Diba? Pero hindi ako na bad trip. Kasi ang ganda ng pagkakagawa. Lahat sila natural. May mga bading, may mga lesbian couple. From what I remember, may mga mag-asawa. Napaka-normal na lahat. Walang weird, walang awkward dialogue, walang ganun. Literal na may mga zombies and such. Pero hindi ako na-awkwardan. Hindi ako napangitan sa palabas. Gustong-gusto ko siya. And napakalinis ng pagkakagawa. Yan yung example ko lang. Pag pinilit mo, pangit. Kapag nagawa mo na tama, maganda. And pag nagawa mo na tama, hindi nga siya magiging highlight eh. Ayun lang yung point of view ko doon.
The topic comes up more and more, and we see more people criticizing that stuff, as well as more people like Paul Tassi seemingly attempting to dismiss those criticisms. Another example of this, albeit perhaps to a lesser extent, were some of the takes that he was making during Concord, where he seemed to be in denial of sorts about the game's terrible player count after launch, wondering if it was even just a glitch.
Off yan yun. Ayan yun. Ayun yung sinasabi ko. Ayan na yung Concord. Yung Concord lang natanggap ko yung paglinis ko ng mukha, yung shaving cream ko. Concord yung brand. Hindi ko nga ginagamit pang shave eh. Ginagamit ko panlinis ng keyboards eh. Oh my gosh. Hindi shaving cream yung pang spread na shaving cream. Yung parang basta yun. Panlinis. Ayan, Concord.
Glitch or something. It's like it's impossible for some people to admit the issues with the character roster. And now practices such as DEI largely contributed to a number of issues with the game. Now, I'm not saying that all of the issues with Concord were simply DEI related. For example, the price point in the saturated market. Sure, these were
Oo, price point in saturated market. Price point lalo. Napaka-specific na price point.
also contributing factors to Concord's massive failure. But when you see people ignoring the DEI related
Ito naman, no? Again,
issues
hindi
as
ko
well,
hindi ko nilalait yung malaki
becomes
yung katawan. Pero yung armor hinubog pa nila sa patabang katawan. Ano mo yun? Kahit yung armor niya pag tinignan mo, sabihin mo mataba. kahit yung chest plate niya pa-bulge out, ganun. Parang, I mean, and ginagawa yun sa ibang game. Pero ginagawa yun sa ibang game for laughs and for fun. Ito, character siya eh. Yun, armor lang yun sa ibang game. Sa Elden Ring, may fat armor. Pwede mo suotin, pwede mo hindi suotin. Dito, pag ginamit mo yung character, yan lang. Kailangan ganyan siya kalaki. Wala nga.
Off as ignorant or bad faith. And for those that don't know, the person Paul Tassi was talking to in those screenshots, Gene Park, who was also seemingly in denial in their own way, claims to be affiliated with the Washington Post. Anyways, back to the current news with Ubisoft and Paul Tassi's takes on this stuff going on right now. He added this to his other tweet, saying, Outlaws could have starred a guy who looks like Han Solo, and Shadows could have starred a guy who looks like Jin Sakai, and I do not think it would meaningfully change the fortunes of either of those games.
Hindi ako naniniwala dito. Kung hindi niyo kilala ko sino si Jin Sakai. Wait lang. Outlaws, Han Solo, Star Wars reference yata. Ewan ko. Hindi ako very big fan ng Star Wars, sorry. Assassin's Creed Shadows, kapag starred siya ni Jin Sakai or a guy who looks like Jin Sakai, tapos yung ginagawa niya, Ghost of Tsushima stuff, I would definitely buy that game. Kasi ine-expect ko yung Assassin's Creed Shadows na maganda. Wala akong pakialam kahit yung babaeng character, wala akong pakialam doon. Sige, tatanggapin ko. Even yung GOT 2, Ghost of something, nalimutan ko yung pangalan, pero babae yung character. Nagdadalawang isip ako pero lalaroin ko pa rin siya sa sobrang ganda ng 1. Okay? Ganon din yung nasa isip ko ng Assassin's Creed Shadows. Kung maganda yung game, maganda yung game. Ang daming naiinis kasi babae yung character ng pangalawang Ghost of Tsushima. Ako gusto ko makita kasi hindi ko preference yun. Again, pag RPG game gusto ko lalaki rin yung kinokontrol kasi lalaki ako. Preference ko lang yun kaya bahala. Pero again, pag pinag-usapan natin yung game itself, maganda. Pagbibigyan ko siya. And sa Netflix may Blue Eye Samurai so maganda rin naman yun. Nagustuhan ko yung animation. Although puro revenge yung gusto niyang gawin.
I think this would be a larger contributing factor to AC Shadows. Star Wars Outlaws has a number of other issues aside from people just not liking the MC. For example, a lot of people said that the gameplay was just boring, especially the stealth segments, which is a large part of the game, and that you didn't feel all that much like an outlaw. Like you were very limited in the so-called immoral stuff that you could do in the game itself. Of course, there's also been numerous glitches, and these are just a few brief examples of some of the issues that people have with Star Wars Outlaws. But for Paul Tassi to suggest that having an actual Japanese male lead for AC Shadows wouldn't meaningfully change the fortune of the game seems like an absolutely insane thing to say. And once again, it also seems dismissive towards the issues that many people in Japan, many Japanese people, have with the game. It's really odd that Paul Tassi seems to have a recurring theme where he's very dismissive towards the issues that Japanese people have towards AC Shadows. I do think there's other issues that AC Shadows has. I mean, there's clearly other reasons why Ubisoft delayed the game. The probability of them changing Yasuke at this point seems near 0%.
Wala na. Sobrang foundational level ni Yosuke. Ginawa nilang main selling point yun eh. Hindi nga pwede maging assassin si Yasuke. Hindi siya pwede maging assassin. Samurai siya. It would go against his code. Even si Jin Sakai, kailangan niya maging ganong type ng kalaban. Kahit labag sa loob niya, kailangan niyang gawin. And alam ko si Yosuke ganun din yung magiging thought niya. Pero, ginawa na ng Ghost of Tsushima, bro. Better. I mean, so far, sa trailers. Good luck talaga.
So there's probably other things that they're trying to polish, which also falls in line with the other parts of the statement that they made. Also, as I mentioned yesterday, there's also just a general negative perception and a loss of goodwill that Ubisoft has had. So perhaps they're going to try and spend the next few months trying to recover some goodwill at least before releasing AC Shadows. The point I'm making here is there's other issues going on with AC Shadows besides just Yasuke. But again, Yasuke is certainly a huge factor. All of this
Yes, yes, yes.
Leads us to an article that Paul Tassi wrote today for Forbes titled After Assassin's Creed Shadows Delay, Ubisoft Acknowledges Outlaws Issue, Anti-Woke Pushback. It's funny that he complains about culture war stuff even when that label is oversimplifying the issues going on and is also, as I mentioned, rather dismissive towards the issues at large. But then he's also going to simultaneously write an
Anti-woke. Again, kung mali ang pagkakapasok nyo ng woke, malulugi talaga kayo. Tulad na nakain kong adobo na may star anise. Ganun lang yun. Diba? Like, kung naglagay kayo ng something na hindi na-expect ng mga tao and hindi gusto ng mga tao sa isang bagay, again, hindi ako hater kung gusto mo yung adobo na may star anise. It's just not for me. Huwag nyo i-expect na magugustuhan ko. Parang ganun. Okay? So, nagpasok kayo ng woke culture, anti-woke pushback. Nagpasok kayo ng woke culture, sila na yung umamin, no? Siya na nagsabi na woke daw. Ginawa nila. Sinabi niya na woke yung ginawa nila, tapos may anti-woke pushback. Good job. Tatawa ako doon. Inamin niya na woke culture sila. Ayun nga. Shit. Wala. Kung sinerve nyo sa akin, tapos di ko nagustuhan, walang sisihan. Kaya lang kasimple. Pinilit nyo eh.
article that's like, oh, it's just anti-woke pushback.
Ito pa, pag binigay nyo sa akin yung gusto ko, kahit hindi ganun kaganda, since na gusto ko yun, baka kunin ko, baka bilhin ko. Kaya nakasimple yun. Kasi yun yung hiningi ko eh. Diba? I'm gonna give it a chance. Ganun lang. Pero hindi ko hiningi ito, so...
Seems like this guy is actually propagating culture war stuff, if anything. The article goes over some of the stuff that we've already covered here in this video and others, so I'm skipping all that. And let's check out this section where he writes, Then, Ubisoft surprisingly, tacitly acknowledged the narrative that its games have become too woke or agenda-driven, according to a segment of the internet. And posting that statement from Eves where he denies Ubisoft having any specific agenda. He then writes,
Ibalik nyo lang sa dati, ibalik nyo lang sa dati, ibalik nyo lang sa dati. Tapos, ibalik nyo lang sa kung saan kayo sumikat, kung paano maganda yung games nyo dati. Pagandahin nyo lang graphically, pagandahin nyo lang yung story, tanggalin nyo yung mga hindi nag-work. Yun na yun. Bibilhin ng mga tao yun. Ako bibilhin ko yun. Hindi ko alam kung sa ibang tao, ako bibilhin ko yun. Yun lang kasimple. Oh, and come on. Ibalik nyo yung Assassin's Creed na costume. Yung may hawk ba yun? Or eagle, yung may eagle, yung may paganon. Wood. Oh my gosh, isipin mo samurai, or hindi samurai, Japanese-inspired na Assassin's Creed armor. Oh gosh. Tapos meron siyang katana. Oh gosh, ang ganda nun.
While Ubisoft already apologized to its Japanese audiences over some questionable promotional materials for Shadows, the pushback was also about the inclusion of Yasuke as
Questionable.
one of the two leads, a legendary black samurai, where there was an ensuing debate of whether he was actually a samurai, and a stated idea that it shouldn't be starring him at all. It's pretty funny that despite all of the evidence coming out that Yasuke really wasn't conclusively a samurai, something that Ubisoft themselves has also admitted, here's Paul Tassi claiming he was not just a samurai, but a legendary one. He goes on to write, there was similar pushback to Kay Vess leading Star Wars Outlaws as a woman, and a not attractive enough woman at that. So he's really not going to mention that the main issue here was that
Not attractive woman. Oh my gosh. Hindi yun yung point. Hindi yun yung point. May video game na pusa yung bida. Nilaro ko maganda. Nakasimple yun. Come on. Oh my gosh. Naasar ako tuwing may ganyan. Again, kasi naglaro ako ng Walking Dead. Ang dami rin naglaro ng Tomb Raiders, pero sabihin na Tomb Raiders, maganda yung maganda si Lara Croft. Laura Croft. Sino man siya. Maganda daw siya eh. O sige. Ay, si Clementine sa Walking Dead, bata yun. Ina-expect mo na physically attractive yung titingnan ng mga tao. Hindi, yung character niya, kung paano siya lumaki out of dependency muna dun kay Lee, dun sa main character, tapos dun after namatay yung main character, sorry kung mas-spoil kayo, naging independent siya, ginamit niya lahat ng tinuro sa kanya. His character lives through her. Naging girl boss siya dahil dun. Diba? Pwede naman maging ganun eh. And hindi yun woke. It's life. But hindi, magandang character dev. Ganun. Sarap ko.
Ubisoft made her less attractive.
Sir.
Like they went out of their way to make Kay Vess less attractive than the actress that she's based on.
Tapos,
Something
wait
that's
lang, wait lang. May naman nakita rin ako, naglaro na Stellar Blade kasi nga dahil sa ass graphics. I mean, literally, ass graphics or sa ganda ng characters. After, at the end of the day, nagustuhan talaga nila yung game. Kasi nagustuhan nila, hindi dahil lang dun sa graphics na yun, kundi sa story daw, sa ano. And ngayon, naiisip ko, gusto ko laruin yung Stellar Blade. Actually, ayoko nga laruin kasi masyadong ganun yung graphics yun. Parang, do I really wanna play a girl-led game? Kasi lalo RPG, again, sinabi ko na RPG, hindi ako, gusto ko, character ko, lalaki rin. Pero sabihin ko, lalaro ba ulit ako ng ganito? Tapos purong puwet yung may kita ko, tapos ganun. Tapos nun ngayon, ang dami naglaro, tapos marami nagsasabi na maganda yung game actually. Story-wise, pati yung fight-wise, graphics-wise. Parang ako, parang gusto ko laruin tuloy. Si Lightning din, Final Fantasy, nilaro ko rin. Ang ganda rin ng...
very bizarre and certainly worth pointing out. But hey, Paul Tassi ain't going to mention that part here. He then says, no historical accuracy complaints there, as it was pretty straightforward woke/DI talking points there, but it is surprising to see Ubisoft entertain this at all. There's another article I found that has very odd coverage, to say the least, regarding all this Ubisoft stuff. This one from fastcompany.com. The author Chris Morris writing, video game maker Ubisoft in chaos after anti-DEI backlash. The Assassin's Creed game maker delayed its biggest launch of the year, reduced forecasts, and is facing calls to sell in what is being called an incel victory. Okay, first of all, I haven't seen anyone say incel victory anywhere. Seems like this guy just made that up. And once again, I'll point out how these sort of people come off as such bigots, man. Dismissing the issues that Japanese people have with this game. Very reasonable and understandable issues. And then saying this is like an incel victory, seriously? These virtue signaler types are so hypocritical. And they're also just weird. I mean, who even talks like that? Oh, it's an incel victory. Like, either this guy made that up, or this must be some, like, terminally online Redditor talk here or something. Moving on. Because, spoiler alert, it's as bad in the article itself, or arguably even worse. He pulls out the classic, oh, the backlash is just from the far right. My gosh, these people are boring with their rhetoric, saying the same nonsense for years and years and years, and they wonder why people don't listen to them anymore. Check it out. Right here he says, the bookings short...
Pinapadire-diretso ko lang yung nagsasalita. Kasi gusto niya mag-rant.
Fall was technically due to the delay and disappointing sales of Star Wars Outlaws.
Sorry,
However, the underlying reason for both of those, at least in part, is the far-right opposition to diversity and inclusion. Oh my gosh, what a joke.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Diversity and inclusion, something that corporations love to gaslight people about. Oh, hey, we really care about this stuff. Not really. We just want money. But hey, if you criticize these corporations, you're apparently far right. Far right for criticizing corruption in corporations. He goes on to say, Outlaws, which has a female lead character, received mostly...
Nandami pa sino. Tingnan niyo to. The season pass na... wait lang. Some players will also have an optional season pass lang additional for the price for extra.
All reviews from professional critics. Professional critics. But many players gave it a 0 rating out of 10 on Metacritic, citing quote-unquote forced DI narratives, and claiming the developers, quote, spent more time on the woke culture than on the story and gameplay, unquote. Some players were also unhappy with the optional season pass model that tacked an additional $40 onto the game's price for extra missions. The review bombing, driven by anti-DI backlash, seemingly worked and set off a chain of events that led to Wednesday's announcement. Driven by that tacked...
Ito yung patunay. Ito yung patunay na failure yung game nila. Kasi model nga nila sa ibang game naging successful. Season Pass downloadable content model has been a popular one in the industry for many publishers and is used in Fortnite and Dark Souls 3. Fortnite, massively successful, alam natin. Dark Souls 3, successful din. Well, kung hindi ganun sing successful na Elden Ring or ng ibang From Software game, pero alam ko very successful in Dark Souls 3. Sila hindi nila nagawa. Patunay na may problema. Magkaibang developer tong dalawang to.
an additional $40 onto the game's price for extra missions. The review bombing, driven by anti-DI backlash, seemingly worked and set off a chain of events that led to Wednesday's announcement. I forgot to mention this. In the intro of the article, he says, Ubisoft abruptly canceled its appearance at the Tokyo Game Show and postponed all press previews of the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Takot din sila.
Wednesday, we learned why. Anti-DI backlash has sent the company spinning. So for one, as funny as that is, there's also a lot more going on with Ubisoft than the anti-DI stuff. Like, for example, they've been mismanaged heavily for years. But leave it up to this so-called journalist veteran to not acknowledge that, and to try and smear all of the Ubisoft critics as a bunch of far-right incels, as he seemingly attempts to defend this massive corrupt corporation. And that's about all that I have to say on this topic. Just truly bizarre stuff from these journalists. However, I suppose that's to be expected in this day and age, and part of why they're now such a disgraced profession. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff in the comments. As always, thank you so much for tuning
Okay.
in,
Tapusin
and if
natin.
you enjoyed my coverage, consider liking and or subscribing to the channel for more, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. Subscribe tayo dito. Tulungan natin siya. 600,000 subscribers na siya. Pero maayos yung ano eh. So, wait lang. So, ayun. Again, gusto ko lang i-clarify yung mga points na nakita ko doon. Pinipilit nila na yung failure ng mga ginawa nila is dahil sa backlash ng tao, dahil sa anti-woke or anti-DI culture, diba? Hindi ako naniniwala doon. Naniniwala ako na kapag pangit yung pagkakagawa ng isang bagay and hindi tama yung pagkakalagay ng gusto nilang agenda, hindi nyo magagawa ng tama. Bigyan natin ng magandang example. Isip ako ng magandang example na Zootopia. Gusto ko yung Zootopia, yan. Isa sa mga pinakagusto kong palabas is Zootopia. Kasi napakadaming subtle subliminal messaging dun sa mismong palabas na yun, na kapag ma-realize mo na hindi siya pambatang palabas. Okay, sobrang hindi pambatang palabas yung Zootopia. Pinanood ko yung Zootopia more than 3 times, 4 times nung lumabas siya. Paulit-ulit ko siyang pinapanood kasi every time na pinapanood ko, may bago ko nalalaman. Shit about sa palabas na yun. May kita mo yung ang dami nilang. Bigyan ko ng example na lang. Una, yung mafia nandun. Literal na yung culture ng mafia pinakita nila. Culture ng mga illegal systems na ginagawa ng Fox, ginagawa niya ng tax evasion, nandun din. Si Judy Hopps, discrimination sa workforce. Meron din discrimination sa workforce dun din sa police mismo. Ano pa ba? Meron din yung hindi lahat ng nakikita nyo is as it seems, tulad ng yung boss ng Fox, yung baby, na siya talaga yung nag-aasikaso ng lahat ng pera. Ganun. Ano pa? Drugs. It's about drugs then. It's about racism. So, drugs yung mismong gamot na nagpapabaliw sa mga predators. It's about drugs, technically, about drugs. Racism is yung predators pati yung prey. And yung racist is yung agenda, hindi laging yung masama is yung oppressed. Okay. Magkaibang topic pa yun sa drugs. Pero for example, free-name nila yung mayor, pero hindi pala yung mayor yung reason nun. So, again, yung mayor predator, yung prey is yung sheep. Pero yung sheep yung gumawa ng masama. So, it's not as it seems. And pag pinanood niyo yung palabas, napakarami pa, as in, napakaraming subtle na mga problema doon. Dude, even yung bagal ng system ng government nila pagdating dun sa mga running blades, di ba? May nagreklamo sa Zootopia? Wala. May lalabas na Zootopia 2. Naging very successful. Para sa akin, very successful yung Zootopia. In passing down yung very successful yung Zootopia in passing down yung ganon karaming subtle messages ng very, very clearly. Very clearly. Pero without any backlash. Yung parang naging natural siya. Wala nagreklamo. Well, baka may mga nagreklamo, pero hindi ako nagreklamo kasi maganda yung pagkakagawa. It fits in. Kunin niyo yung mga writing or creative team ng Zootopia. Baka makatulong sa inyo Ubisoft. So, yeah. So, stop ko na yung stream ko. Itong reaction na to, 35 minutes na. Pero, well, mag-1 pa lang. I can react to one more video pero feeling ko oras na matulog. So, good night guys, and thank you for watching. Sana nagustuhan nyo. Ganito yung mga streams na gagawin ko during the weekdays para hindi siya masyado heavy gaming related, pero mostly sa weekends game related talaga. So, yun lang. Thank you for listening and watching, and see you in the next stream. Bye!